Alright guys, it's Chris Vint back with another video, and today is a video response to Mr. Shaun Blackford. He did a video to do with the top 10 documentaries, which I've done one for, and then the top 10 like match DVDs, you know, the ones that just have matches on them, whether it's just people talking in between them and things like that. So I decided to come on and do mine. Now, there is some that are missing from my collection, such as the best of WCW. I have the ECW one, but I'm not really a huge fan of ECW, so these, as with everyone else, these are my particular favourite top 10. So we'll crack on with this here, because we've only got 15 minutes to do this. It was funny watching Shutterman doing his documentary one, and it's just like 40:59, gotta go by. Right, so number 10 is Triple H, the King of Kings. I do like the artwork in this one as well. You have certain matches like the triple threat match for WWE Championship, John Cena versus Triple H versus Edge, Royal Rumble that he wins, the 2002 is first like real proper match that he'd been in since he'd come back from his quad injury. Armageddon 2002 match was really good, Shawn Michaels versus Triple H, Batista versus Triple H from Vengeance 2005, and the No Holds Barred match between Austin and him, but just a really good set. I'm looking forward to seeing that Kingdom Come, the documentary thing of him. The next one is the new and improved DX. Now the reason why I like this one is because it does this now. On disc 3 I believe it is. Jonathan Coachman puts a bounty on DX. I was actually at that Raw in London, so that's why it's kind of on my list. I really enjoyed the DX stuff, and I preferred this one over the other one, the one what's called, I can't remember, the One Last Stand. I preferred this over that. Obviously it has the skits on it as well, but you have different matches with them against like Legacy and what have you. Next up is the history of the WWE Championship. As Shaun stated, you know, like first disc's not really that good. Second disc is just, you know, where it's at for me as well. You know, Hogan versus Warrior, Bret versus Owen, the Iron Man match. That's why obviously it has a lot less matches than the other two discs, and without having that there on it. Shawn Michaels versus Mankind from In Your House Mind Games, and the Austin Michaels match from WrestleMania 14. Just really good stuff on this here, stuff from like 2000s, 2001 and things like that, you know, whenever WWE for me was at its best. Next up is joint one, so that's 10, 9, 8, is number 7 is Tombstone, the History of the Undertaker, and Undertaker the Streak. The documentary in this, I wouldn't really class as documentary, because it's just like, Undertaker basically did this and he beat that man. Whereas seeing them, you know, like seeing the matches in high definition and things is really good. But this one here is just fantastic, you know, seeing him against Hogan at Judgment Day 2002, where he wins the belt. Mr. McMahon Survivor Series, wherever he's buried alive. Kane WrestleMania 20, which was his return. You know, there is the Undertaker's Deadliest Matches as well, but I don't have that, and Chris Hill, Mr. Big Red, warned me off that, saying it was rubbish. This one here is obviously where it's at. So if you're not too sure about the Undertaker, you haven't watched a lot of his older stuff, this here's where it's at. If you're a fan of his WrestleMania stuff, this here's where it's at. Next up is Edge, Decade of Decadence. Yes, I have one of the limited edition sleeves. But just a really good set. I like the way Edge is kind of in a recliner, talking like he's at the movies, talking about some of his matches and things. So we'll just skim over some of the matches. Obviously you'll have the ladder matches and things. That's one that didn't make my list, was the ladder match one as well. I was an honourable mention. That was The Rock Most Electrifying Man and The Twisted Disturbed Life of Kane. Didn't make my set, sorry Chris. So we have like Orton versus Edge 2004, Street Fight, Shawn Michaels versus Edge, and then you have the whole Kane and Edge thing. Mick Foley versus Edge, sorry I'm going to sneeze, from WrestleMania 22. And then the ECW One Night excuse me, One Night Stand match as well. But yeah, just really good set as well. Sadly some of these you'll have to pick up on secondary market, because, you know, Silver Vision don't produce them anymore. Go get Next up is Viva La Raza, the legacy of Eddie Guerrero. Obviously you'll see different people talking about this in this, whether it be Chavo, whether it be Vicky, whether it be Ray, whether it be his opponent. But one thing, I had the American one of this, but the bonus DVD is the Eddie Guerrero tribute ones, which you can't really watch with a dry eye, so you can't. Obviously that has matches dedicated to the memory of Eddie Guerrero, Shawn Michaels versus Rey Mysterio, to name one. You know, you'll see him against like Ric Flair, Rey Mysterio, Edge, John Cena. It includes bouts from ECW, WCW, WWE. Lasts for 11 hours and 40 minutes. But you know, like if you want to know about the Eddie Guerrero story, the cheating death, stealing life, whatever way it's called, is the best one to go for if you want to find out his matches. This one here is a really good one to go for. One that's on nobody's list, but is in at is in at number 4 for me, is Best of 2001. It's just a case of, I love the 2001 stuff, and if I want to watch it, rather than putting on one pay-per-view after the other, I'll put this on. You'll have Austin versus Triple H from No Way Out 2 out of 3 Falls match, which is an awesome match. You have a couple of WrestleMania matches, the TLC 2 match, Triple H versus Undertaker, Rock versus Austin. You have Austin, Triple H versus Jericho and Benoit from whenever Triple H tears his quad. Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon from the King of the Ring 2001, which is just a hellacious match and awesome. Invasion, Jeff Hardy versus RVD, Tori Wilson versus Stacey Keibler, first ever lingerie match, and Survivor Series winner take all match. Just a really, really good set. If you can't find this cheap, I would highly recommend you pick this up, especially if you're missing a lot of the 2001 pay-per-views. This one here obviously has the best ones to go for, but a really good set for me. Next up, in at number 3, is Best of Saturday Night's Main Event. I never really watched Saturday Night's Main Event whenever I was younger. I obviously watched it whenever it returned, and now it's just Main Event. But seeing some of the older stuff, you know, like whether it be, you know, Hogan versus Big Boss Man, the Steel Cage match, Ultimate Warrior versus Honky Tonk Man, Hulk Hogan and Sid Justice versus Ric Flair and Undertaker, Bulldog versus Shawn Michaels, John Cena versus Edge. You know, like, this is really, really good set. You'll see like Ted DiBiase Jr. talking about Ted DiBiase, you know, having the belt and things like that. But it's just a really, really good set. And just if you're not particularly, if you're a fan of the old school wrestling, you want stuff that you haven't seen, chances are it's probably on this disc. So it is. And at number 2 is the Macho Man Randy Savage Ultimate Collection. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Savage fan, but this certainly helped matters. Just watching some of his matches, you know, whether it's matches you already know, whether it's the case of you see him fighting Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania 3, whether you see him, you know, tag team with Hulk Hogan, etc., or whether you haven't seen the WrestleMania 8 match, which is probably one of my favourite matches with Savage. You know, like, it has some WCW stuff as well, like the lifeguard match, him versus Ric Flair. And then you see him fighting Flair again versus DDP, Kevin Nash and Sting versus Macho Man, Savage and Sid Vicious. So you have that there. You actually see Macho Man Randy Savage versus Shawn Michaels from Sheffield, England as well. So that's a good set, hosted by the oddball pairing of Matt Striker and Maria, but actually works. And at number 1, as if you didn't know, is a tie between Hulk Hogan Unreleased Collector Series and Hulk Hogan Ultimate Anthology. This one here has a bonus disc with it being a television exclusive, which includes 90 minutes of matches. Just for me, being a huge Hulkamaniac, you know, like, I've seen a lot of matches on this, but this one here, I hadn't seen an awful lot of the matches. So the Ultimate Anthology is hosted by Jimmy Hart and Mean Gene Okerlund. Whereas this one here is just like the Tombstone one, kind of has a voiceover and then just goes from one to the other, from what I remember. So they have matches, you know, like against Triple H, Big Boss Man, Bret Hart, Savage, Rick Rude, Vader, Sting, Bob Backlund and more. You know, so you've actually got stuff from his AWA days as well, which is actually a really good documentary, and one that I'm kind of sad I didn't put in my top 10. Mr. T and Hulk Hogan at a grocery store, which is just hilarious. Hulk Hogan versus One Man Gang. Hulk Hogan and Bam Bigelow versus $1 Million Man and Virgil. Hogan versus Slaughter from London, England. Hogan versus Nature Boy from Madison Square Garden, 1991. And then you go up to Hogan and Edge versus Billy and Chuck. Hogan versus Kurt Angle. Bret Hart versus Hogan as well. But yeah, that's just my take on my top 10. You know, like as I say, and as everyone says in their videos, this is their personal top 10. You know, this is what I own, this is what I watch, this is what I enjoy to watch, you know, and everyone's is different. I did do a while back my top 5 Hall of Fames. So if you're watching this and you want the video to do, why not do your top 5 Hall of Fames? I think that's one that, like Shaun says with this, never gets done. I've never seen people talk about their favourite Hall of Fames. So you can go back to 2004, and you can go back right, you know, the current one with Bob Backlund and Bruno Sammartino. But if you've made it to the end of the video, I'd like to see a video response to do with your top 5 WWE Hall of Fames. I'll try and put the link below to my top 3, because I did 5 different videos in the run up to WrestleMania just to try and get me pumped up for it. So I'll put my top 3, because my top 3 WrestleManias and my top 3 Hall of Fames and how they kind of differ. So yeah, if you would like to do that, please leave a video response. Just thanks for watching. Make sure to check out people. As I say, Shaun Blackford's obviously in this one. You have the likes of Stuart Clemson, 2004 Punk, Bar 24 Power, Overjobber, Chudderman, Mr. Big Red 1990, Alan T.W. Price, Wonton Gurley, 2004. One channel that I really want to see come back is Martin's channel, Martin Talks. He's been one of those ones that hasn't done a video for a while, and I kind of miss his videos, so I'd love to see him come back. And then you obviously have Robbie Rebel, who I'm glad is not sitting beside me today. I'm only joking, Robbie, with him just leaving yesterday. And there's my phone going. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Top 5 Hall of Fames. Would love to see what yours is. Please leave a video response, or just tag @Vinto316. I'll see it on Twitter. If you like it, link it to Twitter, then I'll see it and I'll watch it and post my comments. But thanks very much for watching, and until next video.